What's going on, folks? It's Mo-G-Nee. It's Mo-G. And I'm here to give you everything I know about the last episode, the Season 7 premiere. Yes, folks, the Season 7 premiere. How dope was that? How amazing was that? We got so many characters crammed into one episode. I just can't control my giddiness. I've been trying to put everything I can into this video, give you everything I know. Man, I had to watch it like 3 times already. I mean, I'm on my 4th rewatch. Got every detail crammed in, trying to do everything I can to break this down, man. Come enjoy this with me. Let's go. Alright, let's first start off with the cold opening. The second time ever that there's been a cold opening on Game of Thrones. This was just magical. This was amazing. They started us off with where they ended last season, season 6, when Arya killed Walder Frey in his own castle at the Twins, in his own place. Then everybody speculated, oh my god, she killed Frey, so does that mean she gets to use his face? Does she get to use his ravens, send out messages, do all this crazy shit? Well, yup, we got the answer. Episode 1, season 7, she takes his face, gets to marinate. I can only imagine how much dirty work she was doing inside the castle, inside the Twins. She had access to all the ravens. She had access to the maesters. So what does that mean? She tells the Twins maester to send out ravens to all the most important Freys in Westeros. She summons them all to the banquet hall at the Twins, same place as the Red Wedding. And guess what? She slaughters all of them. I wish they would have shown us the kitchen when she was putting all the poison in their wines, man. You know, this scene was amazing. Everything was top notch. I just wish that while she was giving her speech about, you know, tell everybody who sees this that winter has come, the Starks never forget, the North remembers. I wish she would have told the choking phrase right then and there, you know, I'm Arya Stark, you know what I mean? Like, all the guys died by the time she said and took off her mask and explained that she was Arya Stark. Only the Walder Frey, the wives and the sister wives saw who it was. I would have loved to see the Frey's faces as they're choking, seeing Arya's face. I just wish D&D would have showed us that a little bit quicker. But everything else about that scene, 10 out of 10, man. This is how you get revenge. Revenge is a dish best served cold. And that was a hell of a cold opening. Alright, next scene, we got the Night's King with the Army of the Dead. Got a really awesome, you know, montage, cinematic view here of the Army of the Dead, how big they've gotten so far. You know, they're just, you know, adding meat to that army, man, and we finally get to see giants with that army. You know, everybody already speculated that, you know, Hodor was going to be added to the army. You know, I'm pretty sure we're going to see that this season. It's just so obvious and a slam dunk for D&D to add that in there. But, you know, we always also speculated in years past that where are the giants that are at the Fist of the First Men? You know, where are the giants that were with Mance Rayder, you know, in the beginning before Stannis, you know, destroyed their army at the wall? You know, Mance Rayder had a lot of giants with him. You know, there was that one giant that was kind of bald with the long beard. You know, he looked older than Mag the Mighty in 1-1. You know, like, where are all those guys? You know, and we got our answer. You know, the Night's King has been collecting those guys up. Maybe it was at the Fist of the First Men. Maybe it was in the Land of Always Winter, but it was definitely beyond the wall. You know, this is what Mance Rayder was running away from. This is what all the wildlings and Tormund and all them were running away from. And it's amazing to see not one zombie giant, but 3 zombie giants. And on top of that, I'm glad I got this picture. You know, somebody was cool enough to put this picture together and show that 1-1 died at Winterfell, south of the wall, guys. He died south of the wall. And his eye, you know, it was his right eye that got the arrow from Ramsay, you know. And the giant that was with the Night's King in the beginning montage of the episode, he had his left eye that was blue. So it's like, I don't know, was this a continuation error by D&D? We don't know. But another thing about this giant zombie is he's got the blue eye, just like old Nan used to say to Bran in the old stories. Maybe we all live inside the eye of a blue-eyed giant named Macumbo. You know, harking back to that, man. It's such a nice throwback to old Nan from season 1, man. God bless her, you know, rest her soul, man. I think that actress died, so just amazing that they called back to that. So the Night's King's marching, and later on in this video we'll talk about where the Night's King is headed to. Alright, next up we had the scene with Sansa possibly undermining Jon in front of the other lords. You know, I'm not going to break down every single scene in this episode because that would just take forever to do. But I'm going to break down the scenes in this episode that really stuck with me. And this one is another really important scene that stuck with me, you know, because I can see the chess moves 15, you know, moves ahead. It's basically because Littlefinger is that chess master. And ever since last season, Littlefinger has been trying to pit Sansa against Jon. And you saw at the end of last season, he was trying to manipulate them into getting into arguments and, you know, having, you know, Sansa's ear and, you know, whispering in her ear, stuff like, you know, Jon's the respected one. He's going to be the king of Winterfell and the king of the North. You're just going to be a nobody. Why don't you try to seize power and you make moves? Well, you saw Sansa here, episode 1, season 7, trying to make moves, trying to have her voice heard by the other lords, questioning Jon's, you know, loyalties to young Umber and to Alicent Karstark, who their fathers, you know, were traitors and joined Ramsay and now died. And Sansa wants to give their castles away to men that followed them into battle to defeat Ramsay. I predicted last season that Tormund would get the Umber's castle or even the Dread Fort, the Bolton's castle, and he would be given House Giantsbane. He would be christened with his own house. Well, that theory went down the drain because Tormund in this scene was told to go to Eastwatch by the Sea, which is very important. We'll talk about that later in this video. Eastwatch by the Sea is a very, very important thing. A lot of people missed this in the episode, but you know, there's been a lot of references to Eastwatch by the Sea. If you're a book reader, you know exactly where this place is. It's where the last castle of the Night's Watch connects at the end with the wall and the sea. So it's a very strategic point in the books. The Night's Watch keep their ships at Eastwatch by the Sea when they go ranging at Hardhome and etc. So this scene had a lot of things that some people might have missed. You saw Royce from the Vale speak up and say, give me the castle, or give the castle of the traitors to somebody that deserves it, and Sansa jumps on that. And Jon quickly shuts that down and says, I will not punish the sons and daughters for the sins of the father. And he gives the castle back to Alicent Karstark and Small Umber, gives them, you know, their castles back and tells them, we need as many living people to defeat the Night's King. We need them. I'm not going to, you know, kick them out of the north. So Littlefinger, you can see they give a shot at Littlefinger. He looks upset at this because Littlefinger probably would have wanted one of those castles. Or even Bronze Jan, you know, Littlefinger's right-hand man from the Vale probably would have wanted that castle. You know, I really, really wanted Tormund to get the Dread Fort or the Umber's spot. But, I mean, it is what it is. It looks like he's not going to be given a house, even though he's been one of the most loyal men to Jon. So we'll see how that plans out. Maybe House Giantsbane still happens. I don't know. If you want to watch that video and the other stuff I talked about with House Giantsbane, it's in the playlist. Go check it out, guys. But yeah, I'm predicting now that Littlefinger is going to keep trying to manipulate Sansa into backstabbing Jon. We already saw some things are going to pop off, you know, preseason. We saw that stuff's going to pop off between Jon and Littlefinger. It's already obvious that Littlefinger's probably going to die this season because he's not needed anymore. Even Brienne asks Sansa when they get together in this episode, why is he still here? And Sansa explains that I can't kick out Littlefinger because he's the one that saved us from Ramsay. I can't betray him. But I predict that Sansa will manipulate Littlefinger into believing she's beefing with Jon. And at the last second, they will pull a doozy on Littlefinger. He won't see it from a mile away because he's too infatuated with Sansa, and she will get the last laugh and get him killed by making him believe that she is going to join him against Jon. Yeah, you heard it here first. And here on this scene, we got Cersei and Jaime looking over a world map of Westeros. This is kind of interesting because you could see the artist live painting that unfinished in the area of, I believe it is Tywin's old bedroom. So, why is Cersei building a map of Westeros? This right here, I believe, is symbolic. It's symbolic because Cersei is standing in what is the known world. She thinks she's going to be queen of the whole world. Jaime lets her know that at best, they have 3 kingdoms under their control. Not the original 7 that Robert Baratheon had when he took over the Targaryen dynasty. 3 at best, which was good to see Jaime doing that because Cersei needs somebody that's level-headed next to her. If she was by herself, she'd probably have destroyed the kingdom by now. But greed is her thing. So, you're wondering. She's got enemies in the north, enemies in the south. I'm surprised that they even brought up the sand snakes. You would think that the sand snakes would be irrelevant at this point. Obviously, they're not. So, I'm predicting here that once the sand snakes are eliminated, that's when Cersei will focus on Dany and Jon Snow. And while we're on the subject, then we get the scene where Euron comes into the throne room at King's Landing, gets very well acquainted with the zombie mountain, wearing some amazing new armor, black attire. They all look like they're going to a funeral. Him, Cersei, you know what I mean? They changed it all up. The King's Guard is not wearing gold and white cloaks like of yesteryear, traditional clothing. Cersei's changed it up, and it looks like the Knights Guards are, the King's Guards are wearing, black armor. I don't particularly like what the zombie mountain was wearing, but it is what it is. But I definitely liked what Euron was wearing. You could tell that they heard fan, comments from last season that Euron really didn't look like a pirate. Well, he looks like a pirate now. You could see the extra eyeliner on him, the extra makeup. You could see the black leather they had him wearing. It kind of even looked like a men's version of what Cersei's kind of wearing. The black leather with the studded stuff on the chest. So, but forget about their clothing. Euron is Cersei's new ally. She tells Jaime, "Did you not think I listened to Father for 40 years and didn't learn anything? Never underestimate me," is basically what she's trying to tell to Jaime. And is it the right move? We all suspected that she would partner up with Euron because, hey, there's no one else left for her to partner up with. So if there's people out there doing videos, 6 months ago, like, oh, Cersei's going to be making an allegiance with Euron, the Tyrells are all dead. Who's she going to join up with? Euron was the only option. There was no one else going to join sides with her. She's literally considered the Mad Queen now. And that foreshadows Jaime Lannister's story of what's he going to do. Is he going to do a slay the Mad Queen like he did the Mad King? I don't know. Is that going to be the Valonqar? I don't know. But what I do know is, and this is an exclusive Moji doozy, Euron's gift that he's going to have to go get for Cersei is going to be... I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you in this video. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. You're going to have to wait until I drop my Euron gift video right after this one. It'll be up tomorrow. Don't worry. I'm going to break down everything I know about what Euron's gift is going to be for Cersei. And believe you me, it's not the typical theories that everybody else is doing on YouTube and everybody else is doing on Reddit. No. Moji's dropping knowledge. So make sure you hit the notification bell right next to the subscription button so you know when that video drops sometime this week, hopefully tomorrow, if I can edit it fast enough, because I did some serious research for that one. Alright guys, so next up, a very important scene. We go to the Citadel, see Sam, see what Sam's been up to. I'm going to skip over the gratuitous, disgusting stuff that, you know, they showed us about him cleaning up after all the other maesters. I think that scene was to show the time lapse about how long Sam's been there. You know, they don't want people to think that Sam's only been there a couple of months. They want people to think that he's been, like, there at least 2 years or something. He's basically restarted just like he was at Castle Black when he was being recruited to be a Night's Watch. He had to do all the dirty stuff. But at least at Castle Black, you know, he was working with Maester Aemon, you know, and that wasn't that difficult of a task. Here at the Citadel in Old Town, he's basically a bitch. So, the main picture here that I posted up is the scene that Jon and Sam talking with each other at Castle Black before Sam departs, where Jon basically says, go learn about the White Walkers. Bring back any knowledge you can at the Citadel, because if there's anybody that knows about history and how to defeat these things, especially books about talking about the Long Night, it's going to be at the Citadel. So this was Sam's mission. He gets to the Citadel, and we are introduced to a forbidden area in the library. Now, curiosity kills the cat. Everyone knows that. But there was no way Sam wasn't going to go into a forbidden area. For the most part, I assumed that Sam would stumble upon a maester that would just give him the knowledge about the Long Night. You know, but in reality, what D&D did for the show is made a forbidden area that all the good books are in, and only, you know, real maesters can go check it out. So Sam runs up in there, gets the secret books, and starts reading. And lo and behold, Gilly knows how to read now, opens up a page, and passes it to Sam. And he discovers that there's dragonglass, mountains and mountains and mountains of dragonglass underneath Dragonstone. Now, this is a big thing. Sam already knew this from Stannis. When Stannis came to Castle Black, he told this to Sam. But for some reason, Sam, you know, blew him off for whatever reason, you know. And now he's just remembering that Stannis told him that. The Targaryens mined the dragonglass underneath Dragonstones for hundreds of years. Nobody knows why they did it, but now it makes sense. And screenshots from the book Sam's reading show a dagger that looks particularly familiar to the Catspaw dagger that was used to try to kill Bran in season 1. The same dagger that Littlefinger claimed he won from a bet that he had with Tyrion. This is very interesting, folks. A lot of people miss this, okay? And there's people, you know, that took snapshots of the book and read the passages. Basically, the long short of it is, in the passages, Targaryens would decorate Valyrian Steel weapons with dragonglass. And the dagger that's in the picture has the Valyrian Steel dagger in the book picture has dragonglass on the hilt. And that dagger looks exactly like the dagger the Catspaw used to try to kill Bran. That Summer saved Bran from dying and killed the Catspaw. Everybody assumed that the Catspaw was sent by Joffrey. And Tyrion finds out later in the books that it was Joffrey that did it, trying to impress his father, Robert. So this is very important, guys. A lot of people miss this. This is very important. That dagger, if it's in a book that's that old, that means that dagger's been around in the Targaryen family for hundreds and hundreds of years. That dagger belonged to Robert Baratheon, as we know. Supposedly, that's where it was when Robert was going to Winterfell in season 1. It was in his caravan, in his armory, in one of the carriages. But somebody stole it from the caravan that was headed to Winterfell. We now know later on, if you haven't read the book, spoilers, that it was Joffrey that stole it. So, after the war, after Robert's rebellion, Robert took all the possessions that belonged to the Targaryens. So that means he took all their weapons. But right now, nobody knows where that dagger is. Last time we saw that dagger, Varys and Littlefinger were arguing about who it belonged to in King's Landing. Hopefully it pops up again. There's been leaked pictures that Arya has that dagger, and I'll put the pictures here. But that was a very important scene. The Catspaw dagger, man. This is the dagger that started the War of the Five Kings. Catelyn Stark took Sir Roderick with her to King's Landing to talk to Littlefinger about this dagger and find out who wielded this dagger, who did it belong to, because they took it off the dead body of the Catspaw. Now, Littlefinger lied. He said he took this dagger off of Tyrion because he bet him that the Kingslayer would win in a joust. Later on in the Vale, when Tyrion got kidnapped by Catelyn and they were held by Lysa Tully in the Vale, Tyrion told her that's a lie. I never bet against my older brother Jaime. I always bet on Jaime. So that's preposterous. That could have never happened. I've never seen this dagger before. And that's when Catelyn kind of believes him and realizes that the first possibility now that Littlefinger could have lied to her. And this whole thing kickstarts the War of the Five Kings. You know, the Lannisters tell Catelyn to return Tyrion to them unharmed, and they don't reply, and then shit goes crazy and the War of the Five Kings starts. But this dagger is major. For D&D to include this in Season 1, I'm going to do a more in-depth video about the Catspaw dagger, but I just wanted to interject and throw this in there for you guys on this video. And last but not least, this dagger is now said to be in control of Arya in certain pictures that were released by HBO, which is very, very strange because nobody knows what happened to the dagger after it was given to Littlefinger in King's Landing. There's an Entertainment Weekly article picture with Arya on the cover that has her holding the dagger. So this is going to be a major thing. Other than seeing it in the book that Sam was reading, that Targaryens used to ornate their daggers, their Valyrian Steel daggers, with dragonglass. You know, this will be something interesting if Arya's the one that ends up getting control of this dagger. In another really nice scene in this episode, we have the Brotherhood Without Banners plus the Hound, because we don't really know if he's joined the Brotherhood Without Banners yet, returning back to the farm that Arya and the Hound were at in Season 4, where they basically just bogarted the rabbit stew that the little girl made, that you know, gave them house right, they gave them guest rights, and they just whooped their ass, you know? Just the Hound just clocked them over the head, you know, stole the old man's gold, and they find them dead in the farm because they starved. And they starved basically because of the Hound. And we get another scene here where the Hound redeems himself, and we get a major nod to book readers. The grave digger theory, where we see the Hound digging the grave of the little girl and the old man, her father, and saying sorry to them for taking their gold because that's why they starved. This is crazy. This is an amazing, beautiful scene that you didn't think D&D could pull out of their back pockets, but they definitely pulled it out of their pockets, man. The gravedigger thing. A lot of people thought Clegane Bowl would happen this season. No, no, no. They gave us the gravedigger theory instead, which is amazing. But another major thing about this scene was the Hound looked through the flames. There's very few people that have looked through the flames and seen anything. If you remember, Milesandre told Stannis to do it. Stannis saw some major things with the Night's King, and guess what? The Hound does too. The Hound sees that the Night's King is going around the wall. He's going to Eastwatch by the sea, and that's where he's going to lay his attack at the north. Well, guess what? Guess who else is going to Eastwatch by the sea in this episode? Tormund. The main man himself, the sleeper of bears, the slayer of bears, Mr. Tormund, House Giantsbane, is going to Eastwatch by the sea, and he, as a matter of fact, proclaims that the wildlings are now the Night's Watch. Okay? The Night's Watch has been so depleted in their numbers, okay, that the wildlings are now the Night's Watch, man. And they already left some wildlings at the Castle Black anyway that Ed was going to teach to become Night's Watch. So, Tormund going to Eastwatch by the sea. That's where the main fight is going to happen with the Night's King. I hope Tormund doesn't lose his life over there. I already predicted that Ed was going to lose his life this season. I would hate to see Tormund have the same fate. Before we wrap this video up, a couple of special mentions. Jorah the Andal, Jorah Mormont, shows up right at the end, scares the hell out of Sam, you know, in a jail cell for like leopards. It's like a leper colony at the Citadel where all the sick people that have grayscale come to congregate, where they try to get cured, you know, because they've got so much medicine and so much knowledge at the Citadel that, you know, any logical person that has grayscale would think to go there to get cured. You know, Dany told him, don't come back to me unless you get cured. So maybe there's something at the Citadel that'll cure him. A lot of people predicted that Sam would find the cure for grayscale at the Citadel. My main man, Tony T, Teflon TV, Tony Linguini, said this a year and a half ago, over 2 years ago, that he would fucking find the cure for grayscale. Now, this is a major thing. Jorah is still alive. It's only his arms that are covered, as it looks like. No, people, you cannot just amputate the arm. That will not get rid of the grayscale. It'll just grow from somewhere else. But the crazy thing about this is, Shireen Baratheon had grayscale, but the disease went away. It's predicted that the dragonglass underneath Dragonstone is what kept her alive. The chemical response from the dragonglass underneath the mountain, underneath Dragonstone, could keep a person with grayscale alive. Now Daenerys Targaryen is at Dragonstone. Could Jorah go there and get some of the powers from the dragonglass? They said that Targaryens used to not only ornament their weapons with dragonglass, but also eat them in some sort of way. I don't know. Put them in their food. I don't know. Is this a natural remedy to keep grayscale away? I don't know, man. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. Is Jorah going to get cured at the Citadel, or is he going to die with the leper colony there? And the last shot of the episode, we get Dany looking at the dragon pillars at Dragonstone, making her way up Snake Road. If you look up the road all the way up to the castle, it looks like the Great Wall of China. I'm gonna call it the Snake Road, man. And when she gets inside the castle, it looks like nobody sat inside the throne room in 100 years. Stannis was never pictured inside the throne room. He was always in the strategy room, the war room, the map room, where the table was made centuries ago by the Targaryens, where they painted the table, the whole map of Westeros. So while they ate their food, they could look at the land that they owned, which is amazing. And the last words she says are, "Shall we begin?" And yes, we will, man. Unbelievable episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like the video. Make sure if you're new, you subscribe. And if you see that little bell icon next to the subscription button, click that so that anytime I drop a video, you guys will be the first ones to get a message saying it's up. You can check it out. I made this video a little bit longer than usual because it was such a huge episode. It was a premiere. I'm usually not going to make episodes 30 minutes long unless you guys want me to. So, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.